Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. So one of the things I've discovered from reading comments and interacting with you guys in the comment section of some of my specialization videos is that a lot of people are actually hooked on the survivalist specialization, myself included. So I started out leveling up my demolitionist, trying to move over to the survivalist, and then finally fill up the specialization for the sharpshooter with the points. And then I discovered that I'm so hooked on the survivalist specialization, I have no interest on going sharpshooter. And I think that there are a lot of reasons that are obviously, the main push for me to continue to stick with the survivalist specialization. And from reading comments, a lot of people actually agree to this in the comment section and from around, the block and the community. So let me give you just a few reasons why I feel like people are actually addicted to this specialization, and maybe it will probably persuade you to see what its usefulness is. The first things first in this specialization is its weapon classes. Now, it does support the assault rifle, and so this makes it something that's very appealing to a lot of people because the assault rifle is a very versatile weapon. In most cases, you can get decent damage, and you can also get almost perfect stability and very good accuracy. If you really wanted to go crazy in some sense, or in some assault rifles, you can increase their optimal range and be able to get decent fire rates and decent damage even from a far range. Now, using an assault rifle is something a lot of people will tell you that is very beneficial because you can do a rapid rate of fire and really fire down range even when it is in the heat of a heavy battle. So this is one of the appeals of the specialization. The next one is also the shotgun. You're getting a lot of this damage from a shotgun, and though even many people may say, we don't like running the shotgun, there are a lot of people who have actually corrected me and said, hey, we actually enjoy running shotguns, and they've pointed me to some really awesome ways of running a shotgun by using talents like premeditated, breadbasket. These are talents that actually change the game for the shotgun and gives it a lot more damage, even more than it will normally be. And so imagine a SPAS 12 having a lot more of these damage and boost from the talents and even from the specialization. It is definitely appealing to a whole lot of people. The second thing is the specialization weapon. Now, this is something where a lot of people may say it doesn't have the rapid rate of fire as a demolitionist, nor does it have a lot of headshot damage as a sharpshooter, and definitely so. But there are a few peculiar things about that explosive bolt that the survivalist actually has. The first one is he's able to increase his explosion damage by using a talent called destructive. This talent grants you 20% explosive damage when you have it rolled on your gear, and it rolls on your mask, it rolls on your chest piece. I think it also rolls on your backpack as well. So with about 60% more explosive damage, you can literally see every time you equip an item that has destructive on it that your specialization weapons damage increases by that measure. And so you can not only get increased explosive damage, you can also use your explosive bolt to actually fire a trap. Now, this is something that you do strategically. If you know there's a spawn point, or if you know enemies are actually in a choke point, you can fire that bolt into the ground and give it a few seconds and it would explode, and also will come with some burn damage. Burn damage is actually something that's very, very good in this game, and your players in your group or your team can burst down these NPCs because while they're burning, most of the time, some of them will stand still and be yelling and screaming. And so even though you may not only be using it for taking down heavy bosses, which is also nice for, a heavy boss to roll around a corner and then you peg them with a bolt and then they start to feel the burn from you, you can also use it in group strategic play as well. Another thing that I think makes it very appealing is when you're doing your cover to cover, you're using the scraping bite talent, and this just gives you 5 ammo every second for your weapon. Now, it doesn't go into your magazine, but at least it puts more ammo into your main weapon that you're handling at that point, and you have that ammo that's at your beck and call. So this is very good, especially when you run out of ammo, because sometimes you may be running your assault rifle, enjoying yourself, shooting a whole ton of NPCs, and then you find out, oh no, I have no ammo. Well, if you do a cover to cover run and there's no limit for the cover to cover, it could be a short distance, you're going to get that 5 ammo as you're doing that. Another thing that I feel like makes it somewhat addictive to a lot of people is the grenades. Enjoying those grenades is a big part of the survivalist specialization. I mean, first of all, it's an incendiary grenade, and I think it's the best in my honest opinion. Because first of all, a well-timed one is going to set enemies ablaze, keep them still enough, and also do damage over time. You can also inadvertently use your grenade in a strategic way. Say you miss your grenade toss. You can use it to set a wall of fire that will keep enemies from rushing you. It's very, very good to use those grenades. In fact, if you're in a mission with somebody, there is a very big potential for you to be able to make the difference between that setup of enemies just standing still and having them stay in cover and increasing the time that you're playing the mission. Another thing that you can do if you want to really be ornery in the battlefield is run this talent called Mad Bomber. If you look at this little clip that I have, this thing takes your grenade radius, your explosion radius, from where it is to 150%. This is for people who are really, really sneaky. This is if you want to be a bad boy in the battlefield or a bad girl and make these NPCs really suffer, then this is definitely something that you can run just for the sake of it. I mean, I've been testing this out, and I just want to say that it is actually very funny to see how widespread your grenade explosion radius actually is. I hope this doesn't get abused in like conflict or PvP, but maybe the developers put it there and they didn't really care, because if enemies are in cover, even a wide range, you can see how this talent actually changes the game for your team. And so these are just some of the reasons that I feel like some people are kind of enjoying the Survivalist Specialization, because being able to use a strong and powerful assault rifle means that you can solo some content, means that you could be very useful in a group. Having a bolt to actually ambush NPCs, to shoot big baddies when they come out at you, you know, is something that you would enjoy. And I understand the Survivalist Specialization weapon is something that you have to master, because it's not easy to fire those bolts and get your shots and hit your target every time. But I would say for sure it is one of the nice specializations as well. In fact, there's also the perk where if you kill an NPC, your team gets specialization ammo. Well, in the case of the demolitionist and the sharpshooter, you would have to kill them with your specialization ammo, and then that chance actually is there. But in the case of the survivalist, it's enemies that are killed with a status effect that actually gives that chance to drop. So in the case of the survivalist, I've seen a lot of people tell me that the drop for the special ammo is actually really low, when in many cases I never really experienced that, because enemies are always on status effect almost all the time when you're running in a group and they get killed. Explosive material is everywhere. Sometimes they're bleeding when you take them out. And so I see the survivalist ammo drop from me a lot during missions, and I never paid attention as to why until one of the participants on this channel pointed it out to me and said, hey, the language is actually very different and gives the survivalists much more of an ammo gain for the specialization weapon than everybody else. So put all these things together and you start to see why we're stuck here on the survivalist specialization. And even the sharpshooter, even though it may be one of the better damage ones, it's just not as appealing as the survivalist in all areas when it's all encompassing. Anyways, if you're a survivalist runner, please leave some of the reasons why you're enjoying this specialization class and why you think a lot of players are probably shifting over to it and not moving to the demolitionist or even to the sharpshooter. Even though I like the demolitionist, I've literally been running the survivalist much longer. I leveled up the demolitionist as the fastest. I really was enjoying it because of my LMGs, but I've just started to do the survivalist runs, and it's just amazing. In fact, I fully completed it 100%. And so these are my reasons that I think this is very addictive to a lot of players, and I hope to hear your reasons as well. Thank you very much for listening and watching this video. I appreciate your time and your audience, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Peace.